All right, welcome back, everybody. So this time around, you guys decided we're going to do a deep dive into Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
and this whole crypto ball
We've
controversy.
lots to unpack there.
Yeah, there's a lot of articles here. It seems like everybody's got an opinion on this, so
Absolutely.
I think this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So to set the stage for everybody listening, we're talking about an event that happened to celebrate Trump's upcoming inauguration.
Right.
And at this event, it was a very lavish, very high-dollar event. They had Snoop Dogg perform.
Interesting.
And so this is interesting because Snoop Dogg, especially in recent years, has been very outspoken against Trump.
For sure.
And now he's performing at this event that's seemingly celebrating Trump.
It's a head scratcher for sure. It's like you've got Snoop, who's, pretty much been anti-Trump.
Right.
And then all of a sudden shows up at this event to, celebrate the guy.
Right. And it's not just that he's celebrating him, but this whole event is really about aligning with Trump's vision for the future of cryptocurrency.
And, Trump's vision, his public vision and statements about cryptocurrency have been, shall we say, inconsistent.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Yeah, you think back to just 2017 when he was calling Bitcoin a scam against the dollar.
right.
And then, fast forward to the recent campaign and all of a sudden he's, very pro-crypto
Yeah.
and talking about a digital dollar and so on and so forth.
Okay, so we've got this backdrop of, shifting political stances. We've got a booming crypto scene. And then you've got Snoop Dogg, who, he has a history of making bold statements and not really shying away from controversy.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not afraid to speak his mind.
Yeah, so this appearance at this crypto ball, it really seems to contradict some of his past actions.
Uh-huh.
Like the first one that jumps out at me is that lavender music video incident
Oh, yeah, back in 2017.
back in 2017.
The infamous clown incident where
Yeah.
he pointed a gun, albeit a fake one,
Yeah,
at a Trump-like figure.
right. And that sparked a lot of reactions.
Huge backlash. Yeah. Trump's lawyer demanded an apology. Trump himself said, maybe Snoop should be arrested.
Yeah, it was a pretty heated public exchange.
Big time. Yeah. So there was no love lost, it seemed like, in that exchange. And then you fast forward to just a few years later at this lavish event, and Snoop's there praising Trump,
Crazy.
saying Trump has done only great things for him.
What a plot twist,
Like,
right?
talk about a plot twist.
Like, how do you go from,
Yeah.
wanting to point a gun at a guy to
Yeah.
praising him in just a few years?
But what could possibly explain such a dramatic change of heart?
Well, it's got everybody speculating, right?
Yeah.
Some people are saying, well, maybe it was financial incentives.
Right.
You got to figure performing at an exclusive event like the Crypto Ball, filled with tech and crypto elites shelling out thousands of dollars for tickets,
Yeah.
probably came with a pretty hefty paycheck for Snoop.
That's true. We can't ignore the financial aspect of this.
Right.
But is money really enough to explain such a public reversal of his stance? I mean, this isn't just about a paycheck.
No.
This is about, seemingly aligning yourself with a figure that you very publicly condemned before.
That's where it gets really interesting, right?
Right.
Because while, financial gain could be part of it, there are other layers here, I think, we need to consider.
Right.
For example, we can't dismiss the possibility that maybe Snoop's views on Trump have actually evolved.
Right.
Like people change, perspectives change, especially in the world of politics.
Especially over the course of 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's easy to jump to conclusions, but maybe Snoop does see something in Trump now that he didn't before.
Right.
Or maybe his priorities have just shifted. But let's not forget the event itself, this crypto ball.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about, the people who attended this event, the overall atmosphere of this event?
Well, you had a real mix of, tech giants, venture capitalists, and of course all the crypto folks. You had Bitcoin maximalists rubbing shoulders with Ethereum developers and just representatives from all these different blockchain projects.
Okay.
You can bet there were some serious conversations happening about the future of finance and technology.
Yeah, it sounds like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It really was.
Okay, so we've got this, high-stakes gathering of the tech elite, and in walks Snoop Dogg, who just a few years prior released a song titled Make America Crip Again.
It's quite a contrast, isn't it?
It is.
Like on the one hand, you've got this song that's, all about reclaiming this term that's often associated with negativity and turning it into a symbol of empowerment.
Yeah, he explained it as, representing community organization and self-reliance.
Especially in communities facing neglect and societal issues.
Exactly. And some might say, a challenge to the very establishment figures that were present at the crypto ball.
Oh,
so how do we reconcile these seemingly contradictory messages? What does Snoop's presence at this event really say about the evolution of his, political stance?
Wow.
Or maybe even the evolution of crypt as a concept?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's one that's got everybody talking, especially Snoop's fans.
Yeah.
The backlash on social media has been pretty intense.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the comments, a lot of disappointment.
Lots of anger.
Anger from fans who feel like he's betrayed the values he seemingly stood for. It seems like they expected him to remain a consistent critic of Trump.
Right.
And this appearance at the crypto ball feels like a betrayal to them.
And it really highlights this complex relationship between artists and their fans.
Yeah.
Especially when those artists engage in political discourse.
Right.
Because, fans often feel a sense of personal connection with the artist that they admire. And when an artist's actions clash with their own beliefs, it can be really jarring. And then you add social media into the mix, where every move is amplified and scrutinized.
Right, it's under a microscope.
Yeah, the scrutiny is more intense than ever.
Yeah, so we've got this public figure who's known for being outspoken, seemingly switching sides, and a fan base that's, struggling to make sense of it all.
It's a situation that's got everyone asking, can we really separate an artist from their actions? Can we still enjoy Snoop's music while acknowledging that maybe he has this complex and evolving relationship with figures like Trump?
It's a question that's going to linger for a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But before we go too deep into the fan reactions and the implications of this event, I think it's really crucial that we try to understand Trump's evolving stance on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as, scam versus pro-crypto.
It's way more nuanced than that.
Yeah, so let's try to unpack his journey from crypto skeptic to, well, whatever we want to call his current position.
All right, sounds good.
Because I think it's a fascinating window into how this technology that was once considered fringe is really infiltrating the halls of power.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to dive in. You got my full attention.
All right, let's do it. So, we were talking about how Trump called Bitcoin a scam back in 2017.
Right.
But if you actually look closely at his statements back then,
okay,
he wasn't totally dismissing the technology itself.
Interesting.
What he was really concerned about was the potential for misuse.
Okay.
The lack of regulation and the threat it posed to the U.S. dollar.
That makes sense.
It was the Wild West to crypto back then.
Yeah, it really was.
There were scams everywhere. Volatility was crazy.
It's like the early days of the internet.
Exactly.
When nobody really knew what was going on.
Yeah, and then leading up to his campaign, something shifted.
Okay.
He started talking about blockchain technology and even hinted at, the U.S. developing its own digital currency.
And that's where this whole first crypto president narrative starts to take shape.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very carefully crafted to appeal to a specific audience.
Yeah, the people who see crypto as, the symbol of innovation and a challenge to the traditional financial system.
Exactly.
So it's like he's tapping into this anti-establishment sentiment that's been, brewing for years and positioning himself as the champion of this disruptive technology.
Yeah, very smart.
Did he actually enact any pro-crypto policies during his time in office?
Well, it's complicated.
Okay.
He didn't really champion any major crypto-specific legislation.
All right.
But his administration did take steps to clarify the regulations around digital assets.
So more like a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
Like, for instance, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, they issued guidance on how anti-money laundering and counterterrorism financing rules apply to crypto businesses.
So it was more about, regulation than outright support.
Yeah, I think he was trying to find a balance between acknowledging the influence of crypto, but also, maintaining control and preventing illicit activities.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a tough position to be in.
It is.
So this crypto ball,
yeah,
it wasn't just a random party.
No, definitely not.
This was like a strategic event.
Absolutely.
To try to solidify Trump's image as being crypto-friendly.
Yeah, and to potentially attract investment from this burgeoning industry.
It's all very fascinating how this is all playing out.
It is.
We've got political maneuvering, a rapidly evolving crypto landscape. And right in the middle of it all, you've got Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Who's always been a figure known for, disruption.
Yeah.
And challenging the status quo.
It's almost poetic in a way.
It is. It's like a Shakespearean drama unfolding.
For sure.
And of course, it's ignited this firestorm of debate.
Oh, yeah.
Especially among Snoop's fans.
Some people are really trying to reconcile his past criticism of Trump with his current actions. Yeah. Like maybe there's a deeper meaning or a hidden message here.
Right, trying to find some way to make sense of it all. But others just feel betrayed. Right. Like, this is hypocrisy. He's disregarded everything he stood for.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget the actual event itself.
Okay.
We've talked about it being this exclusive gathering of the tech elite.
Right.
But what actually happened there? Were there any, deals made?
Well, details about specific business dealings are pretty scarce.
Yeah, they bet.
It was a very private event.
Right.
But there are reports that several prominent venture capital firms were there.
Okay.
Along with, representatives from cryptocurrency exchanges and all these different blockchain startups.
So it was more about making those connections, building those relationships.
Exactly.
Less about concrete announcements.
Yeah, it was about signaling, a sense of alignment between the crypto world and the political sphere.
So it's like this strategic networking event disguised as a lavish party.
You could say that.
And Snoop Dogg was just the cherry on top.
Yeah.
To add that layer of coolness and cultural relevance.
It's all about image and perception.
It is. It really is.
Sending the right signals to the right people.
And in that sense, bringing Snoop in.
Yeah.
Brilliant move.
Yeah, both for him and for Trump.
But at what cost?
Right.
Like, what does this say about the integrity of his message? Especially when you think back to Make America Crip Again.
Yeah.
That was a powerful statement.
It was.
About reclaiming this term that had been, associated with negativity.
Yeah.
And turning it into something positive.
Absolutely.
Symbol of empowerment for communities that had been marginalized.
And now you got him at this crypto ball, surrounded by all this wealth and power.
It seems to contradict the message of uplifting the underprivileged.
It's a jarring juxtaposition.
It is.
It's left a lot of fans feeling disillusioned.
Yeah. Like, has his message shifted from challenging the establishment to embracing it? What does Crip even represent anymore?
Yeah. Has it become commercialized?
Stripped of its original meaning and power.
Those are some tough questions. And I think to answer them, we need to go beyond just Snoop.
Okay.
We need to look at how the term Crip has evolved within hip-hop culture and how it's being used now.
In different industries.
Yeah, even ironically, in the tech and crypto world.
So you've got Snoop performing at this crypto ball, surrounded by, the very people he once seemed to challenge. And we're left wondering, what does Crip really stand for now?
It's a complex situation.
It is.
There's no easy answer.
No.
But this event has sparked a really important conversation about the role of artists in society, the power of language and symbols, and how we navigate political and cultural identities in a world that's constantly changing.
And let's not forget the fans.
Of course not.
They're at the heart of this whole thing.
Yeah. They're the ones who believed in his message.
Right.
Felt inspired by his words.
And now they feel confused. Disappointed.
Betrayed, even.
Yeah. And those feelings are valid.
Absolutely.
Their voices need to be heard.
This isn't just about Snoop.
Right.
This is about the expectations we place on artists.
Yeah.
The power dynamics between celebrities and their fans.
Right.
And just the complexities of navigating all these different identities.
In a world that's changing so fast.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
And I think we need to acknowledge that there's not going to be one answer that fits everyone.
Right. Everyone's going to have their own interpretation of Snoop's actions.
Yeah.
And their own way of reconciling his past with his present.
And that's okay.
It is. It's all part of the process.
Yeah. And it's in those individual interpretations that we can start to understand the bigger picture.
Okay, so before we wrap up this whole deep dive, I want to circle back to the crypto ball itself.
Sounds good.
We've talked about the attendees, the atmosphere, the, strategic significance of it all.
Right.
But what about the technology at the heart of it?
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah. What does this event tell us about the future of this industry? And, its potential to really disrupt these traditional power structures?
That's a really big question.
It is.
It probably deserves its own deep dive.
Probably.
But I think we can learn something from the crypto ball.
Okay.
The fact that you had all these powerful people.
Yeah.
From politics, finance,
Put all in one room.
Embracing this technology that was once considered fringe.
Mm-hmm.
It says something about its potential.
It's like crypto's not hiding in the shadows anymore.
It's stepping into the spotlight.
Demanding to be taken seriously.
And the crypto ball was a symbol of that shift.
A coming out party for crypto.
You could say that.
It's exciting.
It is.
But also kind of scary.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're talking about a potential paradigm shift here.
Exactly.
It's a new era.
Yeah, where technology, finance, and politics are all blurring together.
And Snoop Dogg's right there in the middle of it. With all his contradictions, he's a symbol of our times.
A reflection of the cultural and political shifts happening all around us.
Love him or hate him.
You can't deny his impact.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we're left with more questions than answers.
That's how it always goes.
What does the future hold for Snoop Dogg?
Right.
What does this rise of cryptocurrency really mean for us?
For our society.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
How do we even navigate this world?
Well, everything's changing so fast.
These are the questions that we're going to keep grappling with.
For years to come.
But the important thing is that we're having these conversations.
Yes.
Engaging in critical thinking.
Trying to understand the forces that are shaping our world.
Exactly. Yeah, it does feel like we're in the middle of some sort of earthquake. Culturally, technologically.
It's like all the old rules are being thrown out.
Yeah, like we're all just scrambling, trying to figure out what the new rules are.
Exactly, writing a new playbook as we go.
But, you know, amidst all the chaos and confusion, there's also this sense of possibility.
Yeah, like we're on the verge of something big.
It's like huge.
And Snoop's right there in the middle of it all.
Yeah, he always is, isn't he?
Seems like it.
It's hard to pin him down.
He's a tough one to categorize.
Yeah, like a chameleon.
Always changing and adapting.
This whole crypto ball thing just adds another layer to it all.
Definitely makes him even more complex than he already was.
It makes you think about what we expect from artists.
Yeah, like what role should they play in society?
Do we want them to be consistent?
Stay true to one image or ideology?
Or do we accept that they're allowed to change?
Evolve. Just like everyone else.
But what happens when that growth contradicts their past?
It's a tough question.
It is. I don't know if there's an easy answer.
Probably not.
But I think it's important to remember that artists are human.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. They're not just symbols or projections of our own beliefs.
They have their own line.
Their own motivation.
Their own journeys.
And those journeys aren't always straight lines.
Lots of twists and turns.
Contradictions.
Surprises.
That's what makes them interesting.
Okay.
It's like we're trying to put together this puzzle, but we're missing some pieces.
We might never have the full picture.
But we can still appreciate what we do have.
The beauty of the fragments.
Yeah, and maybe those missing pieces are actually the most important.
How so?
They're the ones that make us think, that make us question.
Challenge our assumptions.
Yeah, they force us to confront the unknown.
The gaps in our understanding.
And that's where the real growth happens.
I like that.
So where do we go from here?
Right. Back to Snoop and the crypto ball.
What are the key takeaways?
Well, for me, it's about nuance.
Okay.
Not simplifying things.
Not putting people in boxes.
Embracing the messiness of it all.
Recognizing that even our heroes
are flawed.
Yeah. And they can change in ways we don't expect.
And maybe don't agree with.
But it's about having those tough conversations.
Challenging ourselves.
Just trying to understand the world a little bit better.
Even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that's how we grow.
That's where the learning happens.
So it's not about judging Snoop.
Or condemning him.
It's about using this as a starting point.
For reflection.
Examining our own values.
Having a more nuanced and compassionate dialogue.
About the world and everything in it.
Well said.
It's a reminder that even controversy can lead to something positive. Understanding. So to everyone listening, keep exploring this topic.
Yeah, don't be afraid to dive deep.
Learn about crypto.
The relationship between artists and their fans.
Cultural appropriation. The power of language.
Remember, there's no one right answer.
No single perspective that has it all figured out.
It's about embracing the complexity.
The contradictions.
The endless possibilities.
That's what makes this journey so exciting.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everybody.
See you next time.